Hello, Jake.
Hello.
Or Jacob, depending if you want your full name. Okay, so firstly, how do you feel after that Peggy Sue's performance?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Any reason why?
Because I felt reassured that that even if there are little problems or little difficulties that we have during our performance, we have enough personality to not make it awkward and make it entertaining, so to speak, which is handy.
I agree. I do. Between the two performances, so say Buster's Corner and Peggy Sue's, what were different about those two performances?
Buster's Corner for me was more. I felt less comfortable playing Buster's Corner because there was too much space. I felt. I don't know, but I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what to call it, but
odd environment.
Yeah,
being the reception at the college.
Yeah. But,
and so, and then what was the environment like at Buster's Corner for you? How did you prefer that environment?
Peggy Sue's. Yeah, I did. I just I felt like people were listening. Yeah. Properly listening to Peggy Sue's, which was nice.
Slightly different crowd, isn't it? Because at Buster's Corner, you've got literally a moving crowd. Yeah, so they're not necessarily there for that, and they might, even if they want to stay, they might not be able to.
Exactly.
But it gives you a good experience, because if you are, say, playing a festival or something like that, you are going to get that moving crowd that are off to see, Arctic Monkeys playing on the main stage when you're on the smaller stage, and you're like, please stay and watch me, but they don't, because they're going to want to, some do. So, okay, which performance did you prefer?
Peggy Sue's.
Peggy Sue's. Is there any reason why, other than the environment, in terms of your actual performance?
I was much more confident in Peggy Sue's.
Yeah.
I think for a start, I was standing, and I think I've come to a conclusion. I feel more comfortable standing. Yeah. Which is a positive as well. And I think my voice, it was just cleaner, it was just clearer, it was just better overall, really. Yeah,
I agree, I do. Okay, so did you encounter any technical issues, and if so, how did you overcome them?
I personally didn't, but during the performance, Torren's guitar fell out of tune, and he was a bit taken off guard by it, but we handled it by, instead of getting angry about the situation, we laughed it off. We kept playing, we didn't stop, and we tried to make as light of the situation as we could.
I think that's a good attitude, and I was very proud of you both for that, because it's very easy to stop and get annoyed about it, but that you've grown. I think maybe at the beginning of the course you might have stopped and got a bit upset about it, and I think that this time you didn't, and you just had fun with it. You were just like, well, I can't do anything about this situation, I'm going to address it at some point. My feedback on that is that as musicians and as moving forward, you should have your own guitar tuners. Ideally a pedal guitar tuner that is there, and so that at any point in between songs you can sort the issue out yourselves. We're not going to be there to always necessarily help you with those issues in the future. All right, I know that wasn't necessarily your problem, but it could easily have been. Yeah. How well do you think you prepared for the performance? Personally and as a group?
How did I?
How well do you feel you prepared?
As much as I could, really. When I was at the college, me and Torren were playing our set list over and over, like incessantly, just to make sure it was as good as it can be, and I think it was on the night. I think it was as good as it can be, putting aside the tuning problem, and then personally when I was out of college. It's the lyrics. That was what I was working on at home when I was by myself, writing the lyrics down, chucking them away, doing it over and over again.
I know that's a really archaic way of doing stuff.
It is,
but
works.
it does help you. It does help you, doesn't it? You know, that's how I've remembered stuff, or just literally just singing it in my head over and over and over again. You know. Okay, so I'm going to look at a bit of peer assessment now as well. How did you support your classmates in the planning and delivery of the event?
Just to name a few people.
Well, I mean, how did you support like the whole thing? If you know what I mean. So obviously you performed at it, but was there anything else that you did in order to prepare for this event that helped the group, the event go ahead?
I think definitely at the college, I was always enlightening about people's performances. I was supportive, I think, and I think I can't really name an occasion or a time where I'd said something, but I always remember being more supportive of Bonnie and Charlie than other people, which could be a problem on my part, but that's just what I may have supported them more than others. But I know with Charlie, I know he doesn't really like being having all the attention on him. Yeah. So I think having some people that you can just chat to on the side is good. So
I think being a sound engineer is quite a difficult job, or a difficult existence, if you like, because you've got a lot of people that want everything.
Yeah, you need to make them happy.
And when you've got those events where it's like almost like an all-dayer where no one really gets a sound check and you've got to make sure everything's ready, jumping in at this level is a difficult task. So that's why it's great that the communication, I think, was fairly good in terms of in advance everyone gave a list of what it is they needed, everyone gave their backing tracks, you know, and I think we got through both events pretty well, actually, considering. So if you had to select one classmate who you feel has contributed towards the development of these events the most, who would you select?
Charlie.
Charlie, yeah.
I'd say he does the most behind the scenes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, I think he probably deserves the recognition that a lot of people won't give him for it, because I think he did do really, really well. Yeah. Considering, because he was originally doing performance for a good part of the year, so it's just, I'm impressed that he did that well. Yeah.
Okay. If you were to hold or plan another event, where would it be? Where would you plan that event locally?
The next step would be Chinnery's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. And would your performance be different in any way? Would you do it as a duo? Would you introduce other elements to your performance?
I'd like to do it as a duo, but if someone comes along, like a drummer or bass player or something, that'd be alright. But I'm not gonna chase it. If it comes along, it'll happen.
Okay. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of feedback now as well. I think that your work ethic and how hard you work has been excellent throughout the year. I think you've developed a lot where you've experimented a lot, where the first session you jumped in and you was almost fearless by playing bass. Okay, there were elements that didn't work out there, but you tried it and you weren't scared of doing it. All right. I think that you've also experimented with playing piano as well, and I'd like to see a bit more of that as well.
There'll be some of that.
And your voice has always been something that has been a really strong point, I think, and you've got this kind of like baritone voice, and it suits that environment, the two environments that we're playing in. I'd like to see you maybe belt it out a little bit more in a bigger environment, because I think it would suit with when you've got the drums and the bass there, or any other instruments that make it loud. I'd like to hear you do that. Because
we had quite a loud tune, a bit of a yelly one that we were going to do, but then when we got to Peggy Sue's, we realised it was a bit too loud.
That's good.
So we had a plan B which is Moon Age Daydream, which we had.
That's good.
Play instead.
So that leads me to sort of say I'd like to see you collaborate with others as well.
Mm-hmm.
Your class next year won't necessarily be the same people that are in there, although we do take into consideration who gets on with who and all that stuff. So you may be introduced to new musicians, I hope. And if you are, then that means that you may form a new band. You could be the next Arctic Monkeys or whatever you want to be, you know. So there's that. So collaboration, singing maybe a little bit, belting it out a little bit more. I'd like to work on that. Keep experimenting with all of those instruments that you use, because I think being a multi-instrumentalist will help you in the long run. And I'd like to see you maybe doing a little bit more of your own songwriting. I know when you first turned up, you said you had some songs of your own, and I'd like to see them developed and brought to life on stage.
Me and Tyrone are going to work on them over the time we have off.
I think it's good, and I think that one thing that the last thing I also want to talk about is your development actually in your attitude. I think it's safe to say there's been times where you've kind of, you know, been less mature, if you like, and I think that you've grown a lot, and it's helped you work things out and be diplomatic in situations. And the gig it is itself it says a lot, you know, because you dealt with the situation and you had fun with it instead of getting upset about it, and that's really good, man. All right.